have you recently certified as a pickleball coach, and now you want to make your first $1,000. Hi, my name's Simon Lovell, and I'm founder of Picklepreneurs, and I specifically help pickleball coaches grow and scale their businesses. So here are the first steps, and maybe the first questions that you've got. Let's dive in with pricing, okay? $50 is a great place to start. And the reason why you want to start there is because you can always build upon that. But it's a really good sweet spot I found with my clients. And the second thing, I'm just going to dive in here and say it, which is you don't want to split costs if there are more people. So the fastest way to get to your $1,000 is to have that first client that you work with, okay? And then you add people in groups. So if you've got 2 people, that means that your rate is going to be $100 per hour, or if you decide to do 2-hour sessions, and then you add another person, that's 150, and you add another person, and that's 200. Okay. Now, on your own, you can do more than that. You can actually do 8 people, but as you're starting out, you're going to want to start to build your confidence. If you're working with beginners, then over time you will start to figure out, okay, this is what I'm doing in my sessions, and you will have a blueprint and a process of which you follow that works. Okay. The next question you're probably going to have, okay, Simon, you've told me how much to charge. You've told me that I can add people, and I don't need to split costs with somebody. So if someone, you get a phone call and it's like, 2 people, you're like, oh, just come along, $50. Okay, don't do that. The next thing you're probably wondering is, how do I attract business? You want to focus on one channel to begin with, okay? Most likely that's going to be, for example, a Facebook or an Instagram. And you want to start to put yourself out there and be seen as an expert. Now, you may not feel that way straight away, but you know things more than most. What can get a lot of new pickleball coaches stuck is seeing other people out there and saying to themselves, okay, well, they're doing that, and I'm not as good as. Okay, focus on your own journey. Focus on the things that are working for you. If I can tell you one thing that really helps the people that I coach, it's for them to understand that no one can argue with your journey. No one can argue with the things that you love in pickleball and the things and how you've progressed, okay? So focus on yourself rather than other people. Use other people as inspiration, yes, but don't let other people stop you from moving forward. So one of my clients, she, for example, started in a local Facebook group. Now, what do you do in those groups? You add value. Instead of just posting in there and saying, hey, I've got these free lessons, which the admins are just going to want to get you out as soon as possible. What you want to do is you want to start posting in there things that are useful. So instead of taking, you want to start to give. And by giving, what's going to happen is people are going to start to say, this is really useful. I'd like to work with you, right? And then you can actually, have a conversation, go into your inbox and start to convert. The other big thing is letting your audience, your existing audience, know that you are a pickleball coach. Just making a change, for example, to your profile picture on Facebook will update that to all of your followers. And most likely what's going to happen is people are going to start to ask you questions like, oh, you're doing pickleball. I didn't know you were doing that. But a lot of people struggle with that. I've had a client who's in one of my communities, and they just did that. They just changed their profile picture, and suddenly they got some business and inquiries just from making that change. So that's when then you can start to build up your own community, right? You can start to, yes, you can use things like Playtime Scheduler and the different apps, these are different ways. There are different, apps and stuff like that. But really what I want you to start to think about is, if you are sharing value, if you're sharing good information, and you also, people know what area you are in, what's going to happen is people are going to start to like it, people are going to start to comment, and then you can actually turn that and turn that into a lead for yourself, and then invite them into a conversation. I would say in the early stages of a business, you want to be hopping on a call with as many people as possible. Don't have the expectation that if I post some content, they're just going to instantly, go to a website and buy. In the initial months when I work with somebody, I actually advise that they don't really need a website. What you want to understand is that your social profiles are essentially a landing page, which is a website. And so with everything happening right now on social, if you shortcut the steps, if someone sees you post something, for example, your own pickleball story and your own journey, and then you use hashtags, for example, in your local area, like for example here, pickleball San Diego or pickleball in your area, what's going to happen is people are going to start to see that. Okay, and the more that you do that, the better. And then you can get into at a certain point, you can get to running advertising, and that's a very quick way to get clients. But in the early stages, Facebook groups, Facebook organic, adding value into different groups. The way that I see marketing is like this: look at what other people are doing, and yes, model that for yourself, but also don't be afraid to do the opposite, right? So if I see a lot of people, posting, flyers, I'm thinking to myself, how can I make it different? Well, the way to break through flyers is actually just to be on video for people to see you. And that is another big step actually in making your first $1,000 is being willing to be seen, okay? Being willing to actually show your face and talk about what you love. That can be a struggle for some people, but I would say it's like going from a 2.0 in pickleball to a 5.0, right? The moment you start being on video like I'm doing now, what it does is it builds a strong connection with your audience, and people like to get a vibe on people's energy. Okay, so get into your first $1,000 in pickleball after certification. All right, uh, is not difficult, but it is a struggle for people if they don't have an understanding of the structure of the business. Right, how much do I charge? Okay, I can charge in groups, and then it's really the marketing piece of those social steps. Now, you also may be able to find people's audiences, right? You may be going into a club and they may be already feeding you leads. Okay, there's lots of other ways to get business in pickleball. I've just shared a couple with you, but I want you to know that you can have a really successful, sustainable business. Now, if you want to build and get coaching from me, where we build out an ascension model, which is basically where people start so that they continue to reinvest with you and you build a sustainable business because you want to do this more full time, let me know. You can click one of the links below in the description, and also check out some of the other videos on this channel. If you've not already subscribed, then I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and I will see you in another video. Take it easy.